Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. I have the Mystery Box Monday project for you today, and if you don't know what that is, it's much like that cooking show with the mystery basket of ingredients, only the crafty version. I will reach into my mystery box, pull out 3 ingredients, and cook up one great project. So let's dive in. All right, my mystery box comes from a shop that used to sell physical products, but she doesn't do that anymore. However, I will link you up below just in case you want to check out what she does offer, classes and digital products. So I am going to pull out my 3 products, and oh boy, I've got 2 stamp sets, both from Penny Black, although I do love those hummingbirds. And it has an anniversary message. So I'm first thinking, oh, and this one is like a yoga set. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with that. But the anniversary got me thinking about making a card for my parents' 50th anniversary. And then this sticker set actually has some diamond images on there. And as I got to thinking, I was realizing I could make some wrapping paper. So that's what we're going to do today. I have zoomed out quite a bit here to show you. I've got this sheet of craft paper that I've saved from a previous package that I've gotten in the mail. And I will do this with gift wrapping so that I am, less wasteful. Even though I still like to get crafty, I try to keep the environment in mind as much as I can. So I have ironed this paper so that it is less rough looking, although the nature of recycling craft is going to give you a rustic look. So I'm going to carry on with that rustic look with doing this spraying. Since it is my parents' 50th anniversary, they are going with a black and gold theme. And I'm going to carry that through with their gift wrapping. So that's the nice thing about making your own gift wrapping is that you can really suit it to the occasion. Okay, so now I'm turning to my stamp sets while this is dry. And from that kind of yoga stamp set, I'm going to take this little kind of lotus flower and I'm going to use that as a center piece to build up some layers of embellishment for decorating the front of the gift wrap. So I stamped all those in a waterproof ink, which happens to be a Gina K amalgam ink. And I'm going to zoom in here so you can see a little bit better. I'm going to watercolor these, quote unquote watercolor these, with the same spray that I used to do the package. And really, I'm not doing anything careful here. I am just grabbing some of that liquid on my paintbrush and just swishing it around. And I'm not worried about going outside the lines because this is kind of a distressed looking project. I'm not going to be a perfectionist with my watercoloring. Now, I did add a second layer here, and I should have waited a little bit of time for it to dry so that it wouldn't soak through to all of the petals. I wanted to keep the front petals darker so that they look like they're pulled to the front more. So if I had waited for it to dry, it would have done a better job, but I'm okay with how it is. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut out all of these. And if you hate fussy cutting, I used to too, until I realized that I need to hold my scissors still and turn my project. And just after a few tries with that method, I discovered that I can get fairly even borders with my fussy cutting. And so I got all those done, and now I'm trying to figure out how they're best going to fit together to create a fuller blossom, because I want these to be flower-like from the top down and not kind of a sideways view that you see as the image is. So I'm playing around with the orientation, and because I know I'm going to layer these up on some of the stickers, I'm trying to get them sized also so that they will fit on top of a sticker while covering up the message of the sticker, because most of the message isn't what I want. And I just want to get a peek of the color of the sticker with a little bit of the gold in the background. So here you'll see me take that apart and I'm going to squeeze it down a little bit smaller so that I can get all of those elements to peek through. Now, I'm not going to assemble all of these just yet because I want to give myself room and time to decide on more layers, because I know I wanted this to be as layered as I could get it reasonably. So I am going to continue working on this piece of wax paper while my gift wrapping is drying. This will help me create the whole imagery that I'm going for here on the front of this gift wrap, including those stickers that are horizontal and vertical that are going to work much like a ribbon would on a package. And I'm just going to use these stickers instead. I am going to use that first stamp set with a lot of the greenery in the background to add texture to the background of these stickers on top of all of that spray inking that I've done. And so I'm totally thinking about how many stamps I'm going to need and so on and so forth. What I didn't mention earlier is that when I had showed you wrapping up that album, which is the gift that's going to go inside, I did mark edges to this paper to kind of know where these ribbons were going to start and stop. These kind of sticker paper ribbons were going to start and stop. I was a little worried about where the stickers would overlap each other and covering up that gap. It turned out not to be too much of a problem, but I did try to kind of keep that in mind as I was working. And also trying to offset the ribbons a little bit so they're not square in the middle. I like things with a more offset balance to them. So that is what I'm going for here. And here is where I get to this stamping. I am using a white pigment ink that will show up stamped on top of all of that spraying that I did in the background. I am trying to get my stamp, the kind of stems of all of this foliage to tuck under the stickers that I've got there so that it doesn't look like an awkward branch floating in the middle of nowhere. Now, this stamp wasn't doing quite as well as I wanted it to. These first two stamps that I did, oh, and here I covered up a little piece of the stem so that I could make it look like it's growing out of the first branch that I stamped. And so that stamp wasn't doing quite as well. So I did go to my stash and grab a little cushion to put underneath it because sometimes that will help give a better impression to the stamping. But what happened here was, as I reveal, it was actually worse, and I'm not quite sure why. I've done this cushion technique quite a bit before, and I'm just feeling a little puzzled. Maybe it has something to do with the craft paper, but even this next stamping, I thought I would press it down nice and well and get all of the areas, but still that same kind of one area of the stamp was not giving me a great impression. But again, I'm not going to worry about it too much because this is a very distressed looking project going on here. So that happens to be in my favor when the stamping is imperfect, to have that already distressed look going on. All right, now I'm starting to pull all of the pieces together and figure out what other layers I want going on. I knew I was saving that bottom right quadrant to have more of the greeting or message to this project. And that same foliage set had these two little coffee mugs. It must be some kind of, it had anniversary and wedding on there. So it's some kind of stamp set to have to do with couples. And so a lot of the imagery came in pairs. And I like those little coffee cups because my parents are more coffee drinkers than they are, like wine or champagne drinkers. So I thought that coffee cups would work for them. And now that I've got a lot of stuff going on here, I am starting to adhere things together. I did pull out one more sticker to put behind this pink sticker. And again, I'm trying to just peek that color around so that I can add more layers. Now, when I'd seen these arrows originally, I really thought I would have them point to the message, which is going to be happy anniversary, that I put on my project. And so I start getting those in there. And as I add those in there, I realize there's more colors going on in the arrows than I have so far on my project. Oh, I am adding the Mr. and Mrs. from that same stamp set onto the coffee cups. And I did space my coffee cups to get that going on. I will double stamp the Mr. and Mrs., but I didn't do that on camera. What I am doing on camera is getting ready to heat emboss the anniversary message. I made sure everything was nice and dry and used my anti-static powder before doing this step so that the stray embossing powder would not be a problem. So this was a little awkward. I did get the embossing powder on there, but this giant sheet of paper was a little awkward to get that embossing powder back off there. So I did it. I was really worried it was all going to go badly here. And then that heat set really quickly because my tool was nice and warm from from drying the rest of the project. And with the white stamping ink along with white embossing powder, that helped it show up nice and crisply on here, and it is drawing the attention more than the other elements. And when I put those arrows down, that will help lead the eye to that message even more. So I am looking at a few other bits and pieces. I did add some orange to my center cluster there because the arrows that I'm going to use also have orange. And then I realized I had another shape that I could add to this central cluster. And you'll notice that I'm kind of de-sticking everything with my embossing buddy tool there. It's just a powder tool. It's like cornstarchy kind of stuff to give myself some time to play with these stickers so that they don't stick down right away. All right, I did go in and find more arrows to extend the line of that, and I'm going to help it be a little bit straighter by starting with the arrows that are pointing at the title there. I am going to tuck the edges of the arrow up against the ruler, and then I'm going to just go along the whole row of these arrows so that I have a mostly straight line. It is still not perfect no matter what I do, but that seems to be the way of my projects, and I'm just so used to it by now that it doesn't matter too much. All right, so I'm going to let that dry completely, and then we will come back for the rest of the project. All right, through the magic of editing, I am back a few days later for several different reasons. I had a big weekend, and also my wrists have been bugging me, so I have been having a harder time getting to finishing projects and editing. At any rate, I am just going to quickly glue all of these pieces together. I don't think I make any changes at this point. Oh, that's not true. I add a couple extra stickers around my little title, and then one final sticker to the center of that big embellishment, and that really finishes it off. I did want to give you a very rough look at what this is going to look like once it's all wrapped up. Now, because this isn't until September, the project that I'm working on that will be wrapped up is not finished, so I can't wrap this completely. But I wanted to give you just a little bit of an idea about what this will look like as a finished project. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the giveaway. I am going to give away both of these stamp sets. Despite the fact that I love those hummingbirds on this one stamp set, I have too many stamps, and in fact, I need to get rid of some stuff. So I am not going to add these to my stash. Instead, I'm going to offer them up to you. So this one with the hummingbirds is called You and Me, and it has the coffee cups, the pears, some greenery, anniversary, and wedding theme. The second stamp set is Love and Yoga, and so it has kind of a birthday theme with this yoga lady. And you will just need to leave me a comment saying if you want to be entered into one, the other, or both. That's fine too. This is open to my international viewers, so I can ship those off to you. All the other details about this giveaway will be in the description down below, so make sure you read all of that. And also make sure that you check your YouTube notifications, because I will be letting you know if you are the winner via a YouTube comment. Other than that, I will be back later this week with another crafty video for you. So until then, have an artful day.